7:05. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So we're starting with welcome to our guests. We have my friend Sheila Wynn.
Hello.
And she submitted an application to be a board member. She's been to a couple board meetings in the past. And it's nice to have you tonight.
Thank you.
And then we have Sandy Holdener. Am I saying it correct?
Yes, you are.
And she's also submitted an application, and I forwarded that to her, that application to all of you as well. And she is attending her, well, our annual meeting would have been a meeting, but this is her first board meeting tonight, if that I'm aware of, since my time.
Correct. I've only been to the annual meetings.
Okay. Yeah, so welcome. And with that, our next agenda item, oh, we should introduce ourselves, I guess. I'm sorry. So I'm Jen Bosworth. Sheila knows me. We're friends. And I'm serving as our board president right now. Who wants to go next?
I'm Gabe Tetro, and I'm the website connoisseur, or the webmaster, as some people call it, for the board.
Dan Hare, lifelong resident of Waller Road, went to Waller Road School. Been on the board for a few years, involved with a number of issues out here over the couple decades or more.
Don Massey, resident of Canyon Road.
Are you coming to us from Canyon Road or Southern California?
No, I got in about noon 30 today.
Larry Volland, co-founder of the Summit Waller Community Association back in 1993, past president, vice president of the Community Association, been active ever since. And I will have to leave at around 7:30 because I'm off to Florida tonight.
You poor thing.
My grandkids.
John Goodspeed here. I'm the secretary and I do the Adopt a Road. And been a long time board member. My wife was on here even before that. So our family's been at it a long time.
And last but not least, Megan McDonald. I'm the newest board member. I've been on since last year.
I don't think you're the newest for long. Okay. So the next item on our agenda is the April meeting minutes. Did anyone have any comments or anything to add or change about them? And if so, we need to know what they are. And if not, we need to move to approve them.
I move to approve the minutes from our last meeting on the April 2nd, 2024
Second.
meeting.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to approve the meeting minutes from April. And is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Meeting minutes passed unanimously. Moving on is our treasurer's report. Russell submitted February, March, and April. Have we had a chance to look at those?
Jen, did Russell just send you the?
Oh, did he just send them to me? He didn't send them to all of us?
I didn't get him.
I didn't see
Yeah, I
it.
didn't see him either.
Okay. Well, then I could either send them all to you right now and we could spend 5 minutes looking at them and approve them and move on, or we could table it and I'll send them after this meeting and we can do it next month.
Next month would sound good to me.
Yes.
Same
All
here.
right. Let me write myself a note, my to-do list. That moves us to Gabe. Anything to report on media, social media, and our website?
It's been quiet. We did the in-person meeting, which seemed to get more traffic for a temporary time. And other than that, we've just been swatting away the scammers, and a few people actually have joined in. Some members invited some family. So we actually are slightly up on our membership for the Facebook group. The website is pretty much holding steady. I don't see anything unusual going on with it. So it's basically par for the course.
I did want to add something, and we had a person send a contact in that Gabe forwarded to me, and she was talking about the page on safety that came this week. I haven't had a lot of chance to look at it, but the basis of her letter was that she wanted more information about self-protection using stun, or maybe even, well, some sort of stunning device. And she wanted us to look at putting that information on the website. So that is something I'm going to forward to all of you as well, so that we can look at that information and discuss it at our next meeting, unless Gabe has something to add to it now.
It was an advertisement from somebody. It was a company in Florida that produces stun guns.
Oh, it wasn't from a local person.
No,
Okay,
they're trying to advertise on our website.
then I wish you could go back and just erase that part of the meeting. I didn't realize it was an advertisement. I thought it was a local person promoting safety. All right, moving right along. Our areas of concern. I haven't heard from anyone any updates about Lidford Field lighting, so I'm just leaving that alone for now. Interject if anything has changed. Waller Road curve. I don't know how many of you have noticed this. I don't know how many of you drive on that curve, but about a month ago, they completely, for the first time ever, totally shaved all the brush, everything down to the nubbins on the hillside. And you can actually see around the corner. It's amazing. If they
I
could
did
do a
notice
little
that.
bit, it's really ugly too, but I can see around the corner. It's been really nice. I don't know why they decided to do that after all these years. I'm not quite sure how that came about. They've trimmed the trees before in the past, but they've never just taken it all the way down to the ground before. Now
I guess we consider it a positive thing.
Well, it helps with the sight distance. It's growing back, so I'm not sure that it's going to last all that long. But I'm appreciating it while I have it.
Madam President, I would just like to interject that I think this could be an example of the squeaky wheel getting some grease.
I was wondering that. So the next one down that I have highlighted is the Adopt a Road report.
Yeah, we had 13 volunteers, including me and Sue. And we did about 40 bags of litter. We got, so that was better than before. We got all the way down to like 40th or 42nd, where before we hadn't got down even to the 50s, so that was a little bit better. I'd made some phone calls off of the volunteer list from the annual meeting. So that helped because people had forgotten all about it already. So I'll be calling the same people again when we set the fall pickup. That's about it.
Okay. Annual meeting recap. I thought it went as well as any annual meeting that we've had. I thought we had a nice crowd. I loved the presentation from Pierce County Parks. The gal, I cannot remember her name off the top of my head, but she
Tiffany
was,
Odell.
what was it?
Tiffany Odell.
It wasn't Tiffany, it was the other gal.
Oh, you mean,
I
It
know.
was-
Geez.
Sala, oh, she had an interesting name. Sorry, I can't remember. Was it the biologist we were talking about?
She was just a really good presenter. She was animated. She was interesting. She
Yep.
hit all the right spots. She was just really good. She kept your interest. She answered all the questions. I thought she was amazing. Probably one of our best speakers, keeping everyone engaged. And we usually look forward to having Marty come to speak. His significant other, Catherine, was hospitalized that night, and then she passed away the following week. So that's why he wasn't there. And I didn't invite him to tonight. I did stop by and bring him some meals this weekend, and condolences again. But I didn't, he's taking some time. They were together for 17 years. Did anyone else have anything that they wanted to add, or notes for next year, for things to improve, for us to do better on? We honored Larry that night. We tried to surprise him. I don't know if we were successful or not, but we tried.
He's the only one that could tell us that.
I know.
I was humbled.
You deserve so much more,
Yeah.
Larry.
Hmm.
Well, thank
The
you.
cake was good. The cake was good too.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So
Just,
I met him. He lives down the road in the neck of the woods where Megan and Gabe are, by Lidford, and he buys eggs from me. And the reason he orders so many eggs is because he bakes cakes. So that's why I approached him about doing a cake for Larry, and he said
Is that
yes.
Lori's husband?
What's their last name?
Price.
Price.
Yes.
Oh yeah, okay,
Yes.
cool. Yeah, no, he does great cakes. That's awesome. Sorry I missed
Yeah,
it.
that was one of the better cakes I've had in a long time.
Yeah.
It was great to see the logo on there. They did a good job with it, and the bonus cupcakes were nice too.
And how about those edible flowers?
Well, I ate one on accident, so I was glad it was edible.
how do you think those signs that we ordered worked out?
I like them. I saw a couple laying around the neighborhood. That got my attention. I did think the lettering was maybe too small. So
It's a balance of trying to put enough information on there to be helpful, but not too much to make it too small.
it is the challenge.
But
But
I think
that
it was
might
good to have
just
them
be
in more
me.
places.
And that just might be me. I don't, have the best eyesight in the world. Even with glasses, reading small things across the distance like the road is a challenge. So if it's up close, great. But
Yeah, at 44th and 72nd, where you stop at the T, it was directly across the street from us, and I noticed it right away. It was just a little on the small, but not too small side, and my eyes are average, maybe a little bit under average as far as eyesight.
did anyone else notice the signs in the neighborhood? Did they catch your eye? Did they help? All right.
No,
So
what they look
maybe
like.
Go ahead.
Can you describe what they looked like?
There were 12 by 18-inch corrugated plastic on those standard signs you just kind of stick in the ground with wire. I don't know what to call it, with the wire stand that goes
H
into the
poles.
corrugation.
Okay.
What was that?
They're H poles.
There you go.
Right.
Have they been out very long?
They were, I think I noticed it about 5 days before the meeting.
Oh, well, maybe I have seen one.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
couldn't put them up earlier because they just arrived within that 5-day window.
And if you
Yeah.
put them up too soon, people end up either vandalizing or taking them.
Right.
I think next time, maybe we should, or next time we set them out, it might be nice for all of us to sort of email, are we seeing the signs? They've gone up. Are you noticing them? Because then if we're not noticing them, then maybe the neighbors aren't as well, and we might need to just move them so that they're positioned better, maybe closer to the road, or maybe at a different intersection. I'm not sure, but it's another year away, so it's just something to try to remember.
A good idea, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
We might
between
consider
all of us, we
ordering
drive.
more.
Go ahead.
We might consider ordering more of them.
We might.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
What are we trying to accomplish with the signs?
We're meeting attendance.
Oh,
So
so
we sent it out in the newsletter that was an annual meeting. It's up on our Facebook page. It's on our website. There's reminders, but now we're looking at, can we bring in more traffic with signs at the key intersections in the neighborhood association area?
But just to clarify, Sheila, it was strictly for the in-person meeting during our annual meeting.
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just for that one meeting per year. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
So I'm just writing a note. Checking.
While we're on the issue of signs, I have plenty of the signs regarding the website and so forth. If anybody wants to put them out, just let me know and I'll put them on sticks and get them to you.
I had some work done at my house, and the guy driving the truck dumping off gravel mowed mine over. So I have another one that I can use, but I'll probably want a backup for that one.
Sure.
How many do you think you have, Dan?
Oh, a couple dozen anyway.
Okay.
Was there anything else on that list? Because we're to new member applications, which we've sort of already done. So is there anything else on that list that we needed to go back and talk about at this time? Or is everything just
Well, I
sort of
would just-
tabled?
Would you like to just mention that construction is continuing on the Pipeline Trail and inside French Gate Park with the big trailhead. And that's about it.
Okay. Well, then I put it last, but I already mentioned it when we did introductions that we have applications from both Sheila and Sandy that we can read over and discuss. And so hopefully everyone's received them. And if you haven't, let me know so that I can forward them to you. And then moving on to news announcements, other agenda items, I had sent a little email saying that since we weren't meeting in person for a while, that if you felt compelled to send a condolence card to Marty, that you could, but I will send one on behalf of the SWCA if you all want me to. But I didn't know if you did or not, or since we sort of did it personally or not did it. Maybe no one did. I don't know. Larry, did you have thought on that?
Well, my wife and I sent him our own personal condolence card, but coming from the community association itself, from its president, I think would be appropriate.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I will get that done. And I will get it done this weekend. Fortunately, he just lives around the corner, so it's a really easy drop off. Okay. Well, this is probably the shortest main meeting we have ever had in our history. We have not even reached 7:30 and we started 5 minutes late. This has never happened before. But we have an agenda item that we wanted to move into executive session. And by that, it means that we turn off the camera, the recording, right? we turn off the recording and we kind of close it out to, is that correct too? That we close it off to guests?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's what I thought. So I wanted to, I think possibly what we do before we adjourn is we bring the camera back on and then we finish out the meeting and move to adjourn and everything else. But I didn't want you, Sheila, and you, Sandy, to have to just sit there and wait just for an adjournment. So I wanted to know if you had any questions or concerns or anything for us. And then if you wanted to go, you could. If you wanted to hang out until we adjourn, you're certainly welcome to, but I can't imagine you would do that. So your turn. Questions for us?
I don't have
have a-
questions. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. I have been involved in the Canyon Road stuff, and I was wondering about my involvement with regard to that and being on the board, if that's a problem or not. You guys have probably seen some of the stuff that I've posted with regard to Canyon Road and the expenses and data that I've been finding. The more I dig into it, the more information I find, and the more I want the council to understand and recognize the information that's available to us with regard to the development of Canyon Road and further development through the valley. That was probably one of my main questions for you guys as far as me joining. And then the other question I have is there anybody on the board that is a liaison between the board and Pierce County development? As far as, I mean, I know there's a relationship, I think, with advanced planning, but I don't know what kind of a relationship we have with the development aspect of things when new developments put out. Like, for example, the Cedar Grove facility is one of those ones where I feel like if the community had known a little bit more about it, that there might have been at least some comments put in and some people more aware of what was going in at the Dixon mine. So I was hoping that if there isn't anybody that wants to do that, I would like to be someone that tries to develop a kind of a relationship with the development aspect of Pierce County as well, and any projects that are going on within our community.
Could I ask a question, please?
Yes.
I'm Dan here. We have not had the pleasure of meeting until now. Your issue on Canyon Road, was that limited to what? What was that involving?
My concerns are many. I knew about the Canyon Road project just at about the time that it was started to become an idea that was being pushed in the county. I worked for the county Planning and Land Services Department. And there was always kind of this underlying talk about what a big project it was, how much money was being spent, how it was being pushed through. There were comments about it being a pet project, et cetera, et cetera. So I started looking into the data and the information on the project and getting some feedback from staff trying to access information. And the more the project appears to be taking not only a long time to complete, but the data is not coming up with a real good reason for creating such a massive project through the rural separator. Even State Department of Transportation just had a report on it. Only 11% of the traffic on Canyon that gets to Highway 512 and then 167 and I-5 is only 11% truck traffic. That's it. And so the more I dig, the more information that comes out, the more the project is not meeting with some of the criteria that I think it needs to meet with regard to what's proper for the county, the entire county, as far as money and staff time, et cetera.
Yeah. Real quick question. Are you supportive of the rural separator?
Absolutely.
Are you supportive of potential commercial uses along Canyon Road?
That would, again, that's one of those things where it depends. And I would hate to see that area developed in the same way that Meridian has manifested. I'm
Well,
very concerned about that.
Your thoughts align with the mission statement of this organization. Our mission statement is to preserve and protect the rural separator. And I
Yes.
think, Larry, correct me if I'm wrong, we've worked hard to confine any commercial development on Canyon Road to rural neighborhood centers on specific nodes. So
Thank you.
you've got my vote.
Thank you.
As far as the Dixon property goes,
Yeah.
I've been involved with that since the 70s with regard to Swan Creek Park. So
Oh, well, I would love to pick your brain sometime.
not much left there. But
You don't have enough time in the day to do that.
Okay, but
I'd be pleased to talk to you. Where do you live, by the way?
I live at 3919 Waller Road.
Oh, okay, Nob Hill.
Yes, downhill.
Yes, Nob
So-
Hill. Up
So
by
yeah,
Nob.
there's the big hill there that comes down, that's 40th.
Yes,
And 40th would go basically between us and our neighbor,
yeah,
south of us. So you can't see our house from the road, but we're back there.
yeah, the Glens live up there, I believe.
Okay, I don't know them,
Oh,
but
well, what's
there's
school?
a lot of neighbors, but yeah, so we've been here just a little over 15 years. And we
Okay,
bought the property 2 years before and had to build the house.
okay. I'm sure
What's that?
we will meet as neighbors.
Oh, sure. Yeah. You live nearby.
54th on Waller Road for the last nearly a century, it seems.
Great. Great. Awesome.
That's all I have.
Okay.
Sheila actually brought up what is it called? Cedar Grove, right? Cedar Grove.
Question about that. Are you smelling anything from there?
Yes. Yes.
You are?
Yes.
Okay. Cedar Grove, or one of its cousins, used to be down there originally on the Canyon Rim property, that 40 acres. They had a similar type situation down there. And the county ultimately ran them out because it became a nuisance with the putrefaction of chips and so forth. Is that what they're doing there?
Probably.
Jen, do you actually smell it?
Oh, it's awful. It's just awful. I thought that the first time I smelled it, I thought the neighbors brought something in and were redoing their yard. Then I kept smelling it. And the interesting, I'm sorry. Then I kept smelling it more and more frequently. But the interesting thing is I tend to smell it in the evenings or the weekends and not, I don't notice it early mornings. I don't notice it when I come home from work all that much, but I notice it 5, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock sometimes, and
It's
more on weekends.
Probably when they stir up the material at that time and you smell it, but not on the weekends, you say?
I'm trying to be an impartial.
Miller?
I was going to start a diary and start keeping track precisely, but I just know that a lot of times I committed to, I have the health department, air quality, up ready to complain, and it's always after hours every time. That just kills me. So they're never going to come out and check it out because it's always after hours.
Well, we're gonna have to look into that because the neighbors down by Canyon Rim had the same situation, stunk to high heavens after a while, and they ultimately had to leave. I'm not saying it was Cedar Grove, but it was one of their similar operations. What they bring in is chips, and as the chips decompose, they put off a very acrid smell.
Yeah. It's organic decomposition.
Do we get the pleasure of
Um,
meeting the other candidate?
No, not
Well,
yet.
Well, I was gonna say, if we could pay attention to the raised hands inside the chat, inside the Zoom, that'd be good.
Right.
So, just for a quick question for Sheila, so you're employed by the county?
I'm
No?
not employed by the county anymore. No, I
Okay.
was.
You were, okay. So that was my question. If you're not employed by anybody doing construction on Canyon Way or by the county managing the project, there's no conflict in that. You have a citizen's interest about the development of it, and that's fair game.
Yes,
Okay.
that was great.
Thank you.
I would like to welcome Sheila and Sandy to our meeting. I'm going to have to leave, so I hope your executive session goes well, everyone. And I'll be back on the 20th.
Enjoy Florida.
Safe travels.
Thank you.
Enjoy
Great.
your grandkids and your, is it your son and your daughter-in-law?
Yes,
Yes.
and 2 grandchildren.
Yes. Safe travels,
Right.
Larry.
Thank you.
Have a good
Good night.
time. Be safe.
Okay. All right, Sheila, was there anything else before we move to Sandy?
No, that's it. I was just hoping that there'd be some consideration for me creating kind of a liaison situation where we can be more aware of developments and activities and the kinds of things that are affecting the rural separator that might also affect it, 50 years from now. I really kind of want to be in touch with the county and be knowledgeable about what they're doing. So like the comp plan is very important that that's looked at and we consider what they're doing, not just here, but even the parcels that touch our community and stuff is important as well.
If I may say, your concerns are directly in alignment with what we've been trying to do.
Great.
So you have my support. I don't, the board can speak for themselves, but I think that it fits in with what we're trying to do.
Oh, great. Well, if I'm accepted, if you guys give me the green light, I will forge on ahead and start taking notes and filling you in on what's going on.
Okay. Sandy, questions for the board?
I don't have specific questions for you guys, but I would like you to ask me any questions you have about me and my experience. Or
What do you think about the real separator?
I am not that familiar with it, so I need to do some research on it, to be honest.
Where do you live, if I may ask?
I live off of 104th and Vickery.
Do you like where you live?
I have lived here for 35 years. Yes,
Do you like the rural, semi-rural aspect of the area?
I do very much. Yes.
Would you like to keep it that way?
Yes, I would.
Okay. That's the real separator.
Okay.
Just for your information, you might want to go to our website and read what's called the Tom Ballard Report. Might want to write
Okay.
that. It'll teach you all you want to know about the real separator. It was written by a former county engineer and it's quite informative.
I will do that. Thank you.
Depending on time of day, either a cup of coffee or a glass of wine. It's lengthy, but it's a good report.
Okay. Any questions?
Yeah. What is your professional background?
I am retired from the city of Tacoma. I spent 30 years working in the Environmental Services Department, working on wastewater, surface water, and solid waste projects, mostly the capital projects and the environmental cleanup projects. I worked on the Boss Waterway cleanup for 24 years, and I was involved in most of the capital projects that the Environmental Services Department did.
Jen, at what point do we vote to accept these candidates? Is that done in their presence or outside their presence?
Well, being the newbie president that I am, I was going to ask you that, or Larry.
It's usually outside. You don't want the members sitting there while we vote.
I think we're supposed to do it next month, aren't we? I don't know.
I did want to wait for Angela. I figured if she might have some additional questions as well.
And Larry as well.
Yeah.
Larry was here for most, but yes.
Any other
Alright.
questions for me?
So do you mind coming back and answering a few more questions at our next meeting?
Absolutely not.
Nope, that's fine.
Okay. Well then, I don't have any questions. I'm trying to look for hands. I didn't ever mean to ignore raised hands. Are there any that I'm missing?
Nobody has raised their hand in chat or in
Okay.
Zoom.
Okay. Well then, do we have a motion to move to executive session to
So moved.
discuss?
Second,
I moved. Dan
Okay, and
seconded.
Dan seconded. All right. Well then,
Well, folks,
we shall do that next. I don't think
Thank
we
you for
need.
your
Do we need
time.
an official vote to do that? I don't know that we do.
Thanks for Sheila. Thanks, Sandy.
Thank
Thanks for showing
Thank
up.
you so much for coming tonight.
thank you.
And
Thank you.
and treasure this as the shortest board meeting of your life, your introductory one.
Yeah,
'Cause
don't
I
get
kid you
spoiled by
not.
this one. Yeah,
Don't
by
get
all means.
spoiled.
Okay,
Okay. Have a good evening, everyone.
thank you.
Good
All
night.
right.
Good night.
Have a good night. There we go. Okay, Dan.
thank you.
Now that we're out of executive session, is there a move to adjourn our meeting this evening?
I would move.
And a second from Dawn. All right, all in favor of adjourning for the
Aye.
June meeting?
See you, folks. Thank you.
Thanks,
All
everyone.
right.
Nice short meeting. I like it.
Unanimous? All right.
Bye.
Have a good night and